morning everybody, this is here. Well, you guess where I am right now. I am riding on the Ravine. Where I'm heading to? Well, I'm heading to Ligny. Why? Because today, this weekend, is the Camp Multi-Epoch, which is a multi-historical weekend, which is a Belgian equivalent to History in Action, you know, at Kirby Hall in England. And so, yeah, this will be the time I will experience, let's say, the traveling back in time through history. We'll never be living history, that's it. Coming from all the way from the Celts, the Gallo-Romans, the Middle Ages, the Renaissance, the Napoleonic Wars, all the way to World War II. So here we go, on my way to Camp Multi-Epoch. Here it is, I just parked Gabia over here, right in front of the entrance of the building, Ligny 1815 Museum, which has the chapeau of Napoleon, very famous Emperor and General of the Napoleonic Wars, the same guy who was never defeated in many battles until the Russian campaign. He lost most of his army, and his final defeat at Waterloo in 1815, and so yeah. Alright, multi-epoch, here I come. And I'm ready to travel back in time once again. Alright, I'm about to travel back in time. Multi-history camp called Multi-Epoch. And so here it is. The GI preparing the foxhole over here. American soldiers, bonjour. Oui, merci. Oui, très bien, merci. Bonjour. Hi.
How are you?
Yeah, great. Here we are. The Belgium and French police. And here we are. The Celtic encampment. This is where the Celts settled. And so it begins. And check out this encampment over here, the Chasseurs Ardennais, the one with the motto, resist and bite. If you can think of a Sabaton song, resist and bite. You can tell from the uniform over here, of Chasseurs Ardennais. You can tell from the distinctive green beret, 3rd Regiment. And look, here it is, the symbol of the boar, which represents the Ardennes. And they even have the boar as a mascot since the legacy of Chasseurs Ardennais. Résiste et morde, which translates to resist and bite, by Chasseurs Ardennais, or let's say the Ardennais hunters. And let's talk about the equipment over here. Here, they have the bicycles. Yes, even the Chasseurs Ardennais use bicycles for mobility as well as motorcycles. And one of the engagements the Chasseurs Ardennais have faced was near Martelange, which is not very far away from the Luxembourg border. This is where they fought against the Wehrmacht, and it lasted for about, well, let's say 5 hours. No communication whatsoever that they told to retreat, because hours previously they were told to hold the line. And so, yeah, fierce fighting. And the Chasseurs Ardennais, they had a reputation of being very tough soldiers in the Belgian army. And so, yeah, this barricade must have been 18th century. Regiment Spinola, I found this leaflet on the floor. Whoever left it here, well, it should be there. Yeah, here we go. Regiment of Spinola. You can tell from the distinctive uniform of the early 18th century. Hello? Yeah. Yeah. And here it is, the campfire. They even have camp followers. And the next, they have First World War, or even the Boers as well. All right, so this is the American encampment once again. You can tell from the Willys Jeep. And also, this is the 101 Airborne Belgian Friendly. Airborne Division, Belgian Friendly, yep. You can tell from the tents. This tent over here, this is where they have the 1940s cinema over there, all in black and white. Now, where I'm going right now, this is the Soviet section. Yeah, but of course, I got to admit I'm pro-Ukraine, and I must not tell them about this, because regarding us of what happened in the Ukraine since 2022 and up to this day, that, you know, that bigger than power wants to invade Ukraine with his, you know, living up to that BS legacy of the Soviet Union, which is not going to work. But of course, with Ukraine still very resilient, and so yeah. Anyway, another American encampment. Here it is. The mechanical team doing all the maintenance and work. And here we go, the Celts. And look, the boar, which represents the bravery of the Celts. And of course, the Boers, in the ancient Celtic times, they've been respected by the Celts and feared as well. La campagne de Gaulois du Temps. Et voilà. Viking age, for the looks as if. There's the trapper camp back in the 17th century when European settlers entered America, hunting all the animals, which is pretty bad, but of course that's what it was. And look, Compagnie de Tricon, Milice Bourg-Namur. This must be 17th century. Yes, it is. 17th century. Yep. You can tell from the tents and also the clothing as well. The first legion of the Roman legionaries, they call it Minerva, named after the god of war. And look, inside that tent, there is the Pantheon, the ancient Roman god called Minerva. It's what the Roman legionaries made offerings to. And so, yeah. And here's the encampment of the Roman legionaries. You see a legionary wearing armor, cloak, and italic helmet. The encampment over here.
Ouais. Et il n'y a pas que les Scandinaves qui ont fait le Viking, les Baltes l'ont fait. Ah ben, c'est de la piraterie. En fait, c'est juste prendre la mer dans le but de s'enrichir. Point. Aussi bien le commerce que la piraterie, que l'esclavage, que se vendre comme mercenaires. C'est peut-être une bonne raison, en effet.
This right here is a Viking encampment. I recognize the style of the tents, bit of wood and some piece of fabric over there. And here it is, the fireplace to cook food, and women entrepreneurship when it comes to making clothes and all the essential stuff. Round shield represents the Viking. Oops. Yep. Piece of fabric. Yep. Made by the women. Very important. C'est la ville, home to the arbequistors since 1566. 16th century. You can tell from their formidable costumes they wear, the swords and also the clothing. And look here, the helmets, very 16th century, similar to the conquistadors, but of course this is home to the arbequistors in the Spanish Netherlands at the time. The arbequists, these are the type of guns which are pretty much matchlock, or matchlock muskets. Here we go.
Naar Pretoria gestuurd, richting het hartje van Pretoria. Er is hem in de staatsschool gestolen, want de officieren en de manschappen werden apart gehouden.
Look what we have here. The Japanese encampment and the Finnish encampment. The same guys I've come across before, especially from 2 years ago. Here we have a Japanese soldier, hello. And with his equipment, weapons. And it says, Deuxième bataille de Changsha, September 1941. And here we have a Finnish soldier, Bigis, oui, très bien, merci. Suomi, 1944. And here we go, tent covered in branches for camouflage. Yep. Mannerheim. Here's the picture of Mannerheim, the leader of Finland. Reserve Uppseri. Yeah. Wow. La bicyclette pour la résistance belge. The bicycle used by the Belgian resistance in World War II. You could tell from the Belgian flag being adopted, or let's say installed onto the front of the bicycle. And the bicycle, that's actually called Gazelle. That's a Dutch-built bicycle, but it's also used by the Belgians. Yeah, pretty much of an old-timer. And here you have a Belgian resistance fighter who fought against the Germans. He's armed with a stick grenade, and you see a patch, you know, the armband with the line of Belgium. And so most of them, they're in civilian clothing because it's to hide their identity from the Germans, the occupying forces, and so yeah, they're pretty much armed to the teeth when it comes to resisting against the German occupiers, and so yeah. Well, as you can tell now, I'm having coffee right now, so yeah. And this is where we will wrap things up for today's video here at Ligny for the Camp Multi-Epoque. And behind me you see French soldiers of Napoleon and the rest of the reenactors scattered everywhere throughout different periods of time, from 2,000 years up to the present day. And so, thank you very much for watching and have a nice day.